Alright, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Eatin Cheap. Today's episode is going to be fruit cream cheese roll-ups. They work kind of the same way as cinnamon rolls. I don't really have a better name for them, unfortunately. But what you're going to need, depending on how many people you need to feed, one 8-pack of original crescent rolls. It's not the best idea to use the flaky ones for this type of recipe because they get kind of hard and crunchy unless you're into that. A jar of whatever fruit spread or anything that you want. This round I went with Smucker's just because all of the bottles were pretty close to the same price. So I went with a slightly higher grade one. It was like an extra 50 cents or so. And then a thing of cream cheese, 8 ounce. Great value. Philadelphia is a little bit better, but it's also more expensive. And everything is a 1-to-1. That's how much I put into it. So, step 1 will be the mixture inside the cream cheese and the fruit. Another reason why I went for Smucker's this round is because right there, I don't know if you can quite make it out, but it says seedless. Especially if you've got, older family members who can't quite chew and such like that. It's better to use the seedless, or like if they've got like a tooth that's been messed up. But what you'll want to do with the cream cheese before you start anything else is you'll want to have it softened at room temperature. Usually, 30 minutes to an hour-ish, until you can easily put it with a spoon to where you can kind of whip it. If you are unable to do that, get a bowl, and then we'll take it out of its package, and we will put it in the bowl to microwave 10 seconds at a time until it is the kind of soft texture that we want in order to mix everything else into it. So we'll just kind of get it into the bowl here. There's that one done. Forgot how weird it is to pull these things out of their package. But that's okay. Second one is out. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned in my first video, but I'm going to in this one just in case. Always start with washing your hands. I know a lot of times it's a step that's skipped, especially when you're cooking at home. But especially in this day and age, it's a rather crucial one, I think. Okay, so we've got them in the bowl. We're going to turn around to our microwave. Oops. Dog bed. And 10 seconds at a time. Until we're able to mix it all together easily. We'll do 15 seconds at a time. Make it just a touch. And then as you get to the points where, yeah, definitely not enough yet. And doing it like this isn't as good, I don't think, but it still works, especially if it's one of those, like, you've got kids and, you know, you forgot to put it out, or, you know, you just got the ingredients but really wanted to make this as fast as possible. There's a lot of situations where you might have to do it like this. It's already starting to get kind of creamy at 30 seconds. I don't see it taking more than 2 minutes even with a double batch though. Like I said, every 15 seconds or so, just kind of, yeah, it's starting to do its thing. One more round of 15 seconds should do it. So about a minute's worth of 15 seconds, 4 rounds. Da-da-da. Yeah, that did it. But you want to do it in rounds, that way it doesn't start melting it. But yeah, see how it's a nice creamy texture now. It's a little lumpy still, but that's okay. You just kind of got to keep mixing it until it's somewhat smooth. Nothing in home cooking has to be perfect, so that is 100% fine. And then I'm going to take the jar, and normally it'll only be about a half batch or so, or sorry, half of the jar versus one thing of this. But since I doubled it, we're going to use the whole jar. Once it decides to come out, there we go. Because I like my flavors to be as strong as possible. So we've got as close to the whole jar as we're going to get out of there. Got pretty much all of it. So then you'll just mix it together, and if it's still not like super creamy or anything, go ahead and pop it in the microwave for another round of 15 or so. But I think we've got it all good. You can make it super smooth as one completely uniform item. I personally like to leave little batches in there. Not big ones, but little ones. That way, you know, some bites are going to be heavier on the cream cheese, some bites are going to be heavier on whatever fruit you have in there. This specific case, like I said, is strawberry. In the past, I've used raspberry, I've used orange marmalade. You can do a giant amalgam of whatever you want to this recipe. We are going to line a pan with aluminum foil, spray it down a little. There we go. Wasn't wanting to come out at first. And then the crescent rolls. So, we'll open her up. Let's see if we can get that nice pop. There it is. It's always been my favorite part about these things, is that nice, satisfying pop. I don't know what's so satisfying about it, but, oh well. And then the process of these is going to be just like if you're making a regular crescent roll. So, roll them out. Roll them out. And get as much surface area as you can covered. It doesn't really matter too much how thick or thin you make it, because it's just going to be rolled up and then it's going to squish out a bit anyway. And then, of course, if you end up having any leftover cream cheese mix, it can go into the fridge. It'll last longer if it's covered by quite a bit. But yeah, see, I loaded that one down. And of course, it's got its little pockets of strawberry and its little pockets of just cream cheese. We're just going to dollop those on, and then we're going to spread it after it's all dolloped on there. Another recipe that kids can help out with, it's literally just microwaving and spreading. Nothing needs to be perfect about it. That one did not melt all the way, but that is fine. And then, just going to separate them like you would any other crescent roll. And you're just going to loosely wrap them up. You don't want them too tight, because then the filling is going to try and squeeze out. I also kind of poke up the corners a little bit. That way it stays intact a bit more. Like, you don't want it to be so loose that it unrolls from itself, but you don't want it to be so tight that it tries to fall back apart. And then you just kind of push those wings in. And then there's also the situation of getting some of the cream cheese filling onto the thing. Honestly, I'll just plop a guy right on top of it. It makes the dish a little bit messier, but you know what? The kids will love. Kids love messy. If any of you have kids, I personally don't, but my brother does. And my God, do his kids love messy. So, super kid-friendly dish. And we're going to go for the other 4 here. Nothing is perfect in home cooking. Nothing needs to be perfect in home cooking. Just have fun with it, especially when kids get involved. The faster you can get your kids into cooking, for one, they'll be able to save more money the more that they cook at home, just because eating out is not a cheap thing to do. But it'll also teach them a skill that honestly goes, I think, kind of unappreciated nowadays. Because, there's so many types of fast food and such out there. They're just kind of like, hey, you know, let's go get this. No one will care if I get this burger for $1 at the Big M store, because I don't think I'm allowed to say the actual store name. But yeah, we're going to do that. And then I'm actually going to space these a little bit further apart, just because I have the space on the pan. The pan that I have only fit one of the packets, so I do have extra to make later. A decent amount, actually. But we're going to pop this in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. And then, of course, while everything's in the oven, you can do your cleanup, which, if you did everything the way I did, there is virtually no cleanup besides throwing your crescent roll wrapper and your jar and such away. So, we will be back whenever that 10 minutes hits. Alright, so I ended up giving them an extra 5 minutes or so to put the total up to about 15 minutes at 350, just so that they could get a little bit more golden brown on the top, a little less ooey gooey. And we will get them out of the oven. So, they haven't gotten completely golden yet, but I like them a little bit softer. I do myself enjoy them a bit more ooey gooey. Let me grab a spatula to show you guys a little bit more up close. Let's see. Let's do the nice round one. So, as you can see, we've got some of that strawberry coming out the side, not too much. And then we will go for our grand totals. So, one thing of the basic cream cheese, about $2. The jar of fruit, about $3. And one of those tubes of cinnamon, or not cinnamon, croissant rolls, about $2. So, 8 rolls, roughly, probably 2 per person. So, feeding 4 people with this recipe. Nice breakfast with a cold glass of milk. Probably about $1 a person, roughly. Total's going to be about $8 for 8 of them. And of course, you'll still have some left over in case you want to put it on a piece of toast or, you know, just whatever. Maybe even a strawberry Pop-Tart. Who knows? But that was these, in this case, strawberry cream cheese roll-ups. And this has been Eatin Cheap. See you next time, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked it so that you can see more stuff faster. Ring the bell so it'll actually notify you when new stuff has come up. And leave a like, comment, Let me know what you think that I can use to improve. Let me know if I should keep doing this. So, see you guys next time on Eatin Cheap.